If a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? If a rifle fires a shot in the woods, whose body first hits the ground?
Gunned down, 5 dead, more injured in a hunting rampage. Police say an eruption of rage triggered the shootings. Tonight, a St. Paul family is shocked that one of their own is accused in this trail of
somebody
terror.
do such a horrific, inhumane act.
A report released today in Hayward raises questions of who fired first on Sunday.
We still don't really know who shot first.
Fired, the first shot is in dispute.
Vang claims he acted in self-defense.
The family of one of the victims say they don't believe it.
If a tree falls in a forest, does it make a sound? If a rifle fires a shot in the woods, whose body first hits the ground? If a group of angry hunters surrounds, curses at, and accosts you for wandering onto their land, if you apologize for being lost, inform you saw no posted signs, swallow their chinks this and gooks taking over that, are walking away over mud and fallen leaves when a loud crack far behind you kicks up black earth. If your father was conscripted to fight on the side of the United States for the CIA during the war in Vietnam, if he, your mother, you, the oldest son, and all your younger siblings were later abandoned in the hills of Laos as targets for genocide by the Viet Cong. If, after 5 years in a Thai refugee camp, you come to this land as a teen, a casualty of history and time, then receive 3 years of training to become a sharpshooter in the U.S. military. If you spent your adolescence watching blacks, Asians, Latinos, and whites watching one another, watch each other for weaknesses and flaws. If, after this first blast, you wheel around in a bright orange vest, glimpse an angry, possibly inebriated man lowering or reciting, his rifle in hand. If, in that icy moment, you recall the native friend you used to collect cans with, once watched his 300-pound father unload himself from a Chevy Impala and chase the boy down University Avenue with a ball-peen hammer. If, of your own children, your quietest son lately lacks the wherewithal at school to defend himself, and your oldest daughter, for some inexplicable reason, has always been ashamed of you. If hunting, for you, is not just a sport, or a time to drink beers with friends in a cabin, but a factor in considering your family's winter protein consumption. If you believe in God, but not the good in everyone. If you hate to think about this shit because why the fuck is it always on you to pre-prove your loyalty and innocence? If frightened for your life and the livelihood of your immediate and extended family, in that split second you reel and train your own gun back at the far face of that vapory barrel, now aiming at your own. If yes, sometimes you are angry, and so look forward to escaping your truck driver's life on certain designated dates on certain designated lands, not always clearly demarcated, but always clearly stolen from the ancestors of fat, drunk red men, so confused they chase their own fiery songs in the form of their sons, stolen from generations of skewed black backs, hunched your whole life on street corners, laughing and picking their bones, stolen from the paychecks of your brown co-worker social security ghosts, stolen like your own people from mountains in one land, only to be resettled and resented here in projects and tenements. If you barely finished high school, but you know from all you've ever seen of this system, might makes right, and excuses, broken treaties and cover-ups appear the only true code inscribed on most white men's souls. If, After such slurs, pushes, and threats in these woods, it is now also on you to assess if that far rifle still locked on your face just issued a mistake, a warning shot, or murderous attempt, and the answer is your military muscle fibers act. If you then spot 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other hunters now scattering for their ATVs, and of course if a gook, don't be a dumb one, scattering now also for their weapons. If you are alone in this land, on foot in miles of coming snow, wind, and branches, and don't even know in which direction you'd run, if from birth you've seen what men with guns, knives, and bombs are capable of doing for reasons you never wanted to understand, if in this very same county's court of all white witnesses, counsel, judge, and jurors, it'll forever be your word against theirs because there was no forensic testimony over who shot first. If yes, sometimes you can hear voices, not because you're insane, but in your culture you are a shaman, a spiritual healer, though in this very different land of goods and fears, your only true worth seems to be as a delivery man and soldier. If, upon that first fateful exchange in these woods, your instinct pushing pin to balloon tells you it's now either you and your fatherless family of 14 or all of them, would you set your rifle down, hope the right, the decent, the fair thing on this buried American soil will happen? Or would you stay low, one knee cold, and do precisely as your whole life and history have trained? And if you did, would anyone even care what really happened that afternoon 8 bodies plummeted to earth like deer?
Go.